We all face love, life, and hard choices every day. This is the Dilemma of a Good One podcast. Welcome.
Genesis to Revelation. This the story of a good one. In the middle of the madness. Let it be known.
2, 1. Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's DJ Ron, the classic DJ from the Bay Area of California, also known as Righteous Ron, not because I'm there. I'm probably a long way from it, but I'm striving for it. You know what I mean? And on today's episode of The Dilemma of a Good One, we got someone special joining the podcast, coming with the conversation. Please welcome a new guest co-host, the Motivator Ca.
Hey, y'all. Hey, thank you for having me, DJ Ron. You're amazing, and it's good to be here. What's up with everybody?
Oh, for sure. It's truly a pleasure to have you. You know, you're known for bringing the energy and the insight and straight talk.
Hey guys, it is 96.9 FM radio streaming all the way live. It's your girl, the Motivator Ca, and we are wrapping it up for today. Motivation with the Motivator, talking about emotions, talking about your job, talking about you uploading your internal software so that you can be able to do the best that you can with what you have. And if you don't have enough, let us get you equipped with what you need so that you can have some good things. All right, I love you guys. Do your best. Peace. Bye-bye.
Cash here to break down the dilemmas, share some wisdom, and keep it 100 with us. All right, so let's dive in. Now, obviously, you're not new to this. You got your own studio set up and everything. You want to share a little bit of your podcast experience?
Oh, wow. I don't have my own studio, but I am fortunate enough to be able to work here in Oakland, California at Peralta Community Radio, KGPC. I have a radio show called The Motivator Ca, where I do inspirational, motivational series every week at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. on the radio. And it includes me speaking life into young people like yourself. Everybody knows that I'm like their biggest cheerleader. So I have been blessed to be over the sound waves, to be able to speak to people in that capacity. And then I have a podcast with two young men, and it's called Rock, Paper, Scissors, the hard truths and cutting through the BS in life and getting to your paper. So there's a comedian and there is a financial guru, and both of them are my brothers. Shout out to my brothers, Maurice Shabazz, financial guru, and also to DJ Danny Stokes, phenomenal comedian out of the Bay Area. And I also work in production on Get a Dose, which is all of Sick Witted Records artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm fortunate enough to be behind the scenes on that as well. So that is a little bit of my life in this streaming era, as we know it to be right now.
That is a lot of bit of your life. And of course, as a DJ, you know, I'm all about the sick with it thing. You know what I mean? Since Tangent, you know what I'm saying? When 40 first came on the scene. So, yeah, shout out to E40, shout out to the Sick With It family, but also to Rock, Paper, Scissors, the brothers that you mentioned and everything. And this, it's just a shout out to you because obviously, well, it's going to become obvious as we talk that you are just a motivator by nature. You know, I like to refer to you as C, the motivator, if you don't mind me calling you that.
Yes.
But that's what it's all about. So look, let's go ahead and jump into it. We're going to do some what I call dilemma beginners. And first question I want to ask you is: have you ever seen any of my content? Have you heard or seen any of it? Because it is something to listen to as well as look at.
I've seen what you sent me, if that counts. But if that doesn't count, I've seen you in action. That's content, right? So we're going to keep it 100 across the board. So, yes, I have seen you in your gift. That's what I call it. I don't necessarily just refer to it as podcasting, because you have to be able to be an extraordinary person and be transparent with people, to put yourself in front of the camera, to allow people to express themselves without judgment, but also leaning into your source, you know. So I have Only saw the one that you sent me, and now that I'm in this refreshing group, I'll be sure to do my research. So we're gonna come back to that question.
Well, all glory to God, to whom all blessings flow, all gifts, every good and perfect gift come from above. That's the way I look at it. Refresh me. What do you remember? What video I sent you? Like the title of it, anything like that? I just want to just know for myself.
Living in the purpose and being
Okay.
patient in your purpose, and that's
Right.
actually a good segue because what do people do when they don't know their purpose? When you're looking for your purpose?
Oh, yeah. The Bible talks about that too. That's we often hear the saying, without vision the people shall perish, but that's what it is, having a vision of your purpose, knowing what you should do. Otherwise they're just floating around like a rudderless ship, just going to and fro, not
Mm,
really knowing where they're going to be going. So that's actually is a good segue, and I think that's basically the beginning of your topic. But let's stay on course for a moment. Let me just ask you this: do you consider yourself a good woman?
I'm a great woman. I'm a woman of God, so I can't be no other way. No matter my shortcomings, no matter who like it, who don't like it, I'm a great woman in pursuit
Oh,
of my purpose. So yes, I'm a good
man.
woman.
You're a good one. Okay, you care to say your age, or you want to keep it to yourself? 3 times 7 and
Child, I'm 49 years in kicking around here. Okay, I am.
49 years young. That's what's up. That's what's up. She almost made it to the 50 club. Almost there. Though. We're
I'm
definitely Lord willing, if I'm still here, I want to be one of the ones to hold the door open for you as you walk through. I
absolutely.
DJ for y'all before. I definitely don't mind coming and do it again, especially if you want some of that classic stuff. Though I got you.
That's it. Listen,
All right,
that's the
huh?
wonderful thing to still be able to hear that kind of music because music has changed. It has definitely evolved.
And so have us though. We can't just blame it on the music because we have changed and evolved too. Lord willing, preferably, as we get older, we have evolved and we got better. But that's a case by case kind of thing. That's one of the reasons why we have a podcast, just to try to shed some light on things. As far as living life, uh, some of the best paths to take and everything else. And I'm like Tupac said, my aim is to spread more smiles and tears. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Utilize lessons learned from my childhood years and up until now. You know what I'm saying? So somebody my age may be able to learn and glean something, but younger people, as you mentioned as well, should be able to learn something from the podcast too. So speaking on that note, how many children do you have?
I am a mother of two. I have a
Okay.
22-year-old son who's in college and who's working, and I have a 15-year-old daughter who is on the varsity volleyball team. She has her own nonprofit organization here in the city where we live at. Yeah, I'm blessed with two beautiful young people in my life.
Well, congratulations to you. And also, okay, she's 15 now. I DJ her, what was that, her 12th birthday? 13th birthday?
13. She was 13.
Yeah.
Yes, 13. And they danced all night, thanks to you.
Yeah, TikTok and dance all night.
They enjoyed themselves. They enjoyed
And they
themselves.
prom and everything. They all dressed nice. Children definitely knew how to
Mm-hmm.
behave themselves
Mm-hmm.
well.
Thank
And
you.
so that, yeah, no, yeah, shout out to the parents and the parenting
A
in that
safe
aspect,
place. Safe place for
for sure.
kids. That's what we want to
And they need that.
create. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they need that. So, were you ever married before? Just a little personal with it.
Yeah, you personal and nosy with it. No, I've never been married. My children have the same father. Um,
Okay.
Grew up here in
Huh.
Richmond, California. Fortunate enough to graduate from Vallejo High School. Did some time at UC Davis. I have several businesses that I run and operate here in the city where we live. Um, I'm married to the game. I'm married to the Lord at this time. When He sends me a young king, I will let you know. Maybe you're going to DJ. Okay? All right?
All right, all right. And go ahead, shout out a couple more of your businesses. I know you as a phenomenal decorator, doing your thing, adding class and pizzazz to any event that you've been a part of.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
So Creative Creations by Cash is a event rental for people like me, by me, and for me. I started that to help with different that's been going on in the um, neighborhood. So, affordable parties. The experience is a party business where we have been fortunate enough to go out of the country and do festivals. I hosted Sick With It's first annual festival in Baja, Mexico, 2 years. So the experience has different parties that we do, and a lot of the artists come and perform. We showcase models and cars. That's what the experience Inc. is about. Of course, the Motivator Cash. We are emotionally intelligent consultants, high performance coaches. I do that as well. I just resigned from being a supervisor at a campus here in Richmond. I've been in education for over 30 years. Um, yeah, trendsetter, radio, and then we have the clothing line. Then, I work with a lot of artists. So yeah, it's a lot, but it all goes together. Fashion, music, industry, as much in education. That's
Your girl got a whole resume. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. So, okay. Wow. Wow. Now, just to delve a little bit deeper, because I think people need to know who they're listening to, where they're coming from, and how do they feel that they have experience on a given topic. So, let me ask you this: how long was your longest relationship?
Oh, wow. My longest relationship was with my kid's father, and it was over 20 years, 20 plus years. Um, we
That's a
were
long time.
we were together for a very long time. One of my good friends, he was my homeboy. He calls when he needs some motivation from the motivator. That's what we'll say.
That's what's up.
We'll see.
That's what's
We'll
up.
keep
No,
that there.
no, it's good to have that. And yeah, we can look to, the brothers or whatnot, you know what I mean? A sermon on Sunday morning or whatnot. But it's certainly good to have someone of the opposite sex in your corner that, you know what I mean, that you can lean on. You can lean on. I got a couple friends myself. Um, and on that note too, I saw y'all in action because I found out who your dad was. I mean, who your child's father was the night I DJ for your daughter. And good dude, you know what I'm saying? I've never heard anything bad said about that brother. And I like the way that y'all can coexist together. You know what I mean? It seems like y'all are definitely doing your co-parenting thing. And I think your children benefit from, I know children benefit from that in general, but it seemed like it was just a smooth, like it was a smooth flow between the two of y'all. So that, yeah, that's what's up. That's what it's all about.
I appreciate it. It's important to know that even when you're not with the father or mother of your kids, you guys can still exist and have a positive um, rapport for your kids and for yourselves. It's healthy for you to be able to do that as adults. And it's so much negative energy around um, us as a people of color and parenting
Yeah.
and how we don't necessarily get along and see eye to eye. And that's one thing we all have to learn how to accept. We're all individuals. God created us each differently.
And
And once it's your purpose has ran its course in someone's life, that on my end doesn't mean that you don't have to hate them, you don't have to dislike them, you don't have to, And so in this particular situation, we have two children together, and what better way to show them as parents that we can coexist by having a great relationship so that they can see the best from us. My kids were in his wedding. My daughter just came home from her other parents. That's what I call them. The parents. Tell the parents out. All right, tell your other mom I said hi. So we have a great relationship. Even so, um,
yeah.
I'm excited for him. He has grown into a great man. God has been really present from where we came from in the neighborhood and how we've done things in the past and what we've been exposed to. And it just tells you that you don't have to even though you're from the hood doesn't always have to be.
Whoa, you said a mouthful. And there's a saying, an old school saying, it takes two to tango. And I was up till about a year ago old when I found out what that meant. I thought it meant tango, like two to get together and tango, like get tangled up and fight. But tango
Yeah,
meaning to dance. It takes two to dance together, right? So that means both of y'all have to want to dance. You understand what I'm saying?
the
Both of y'all hear the
timing,
music, and we could get the
yes,
timing together. We
leadership,
could get the
yes,
we
yes.
and dance together and everything else. So you had to have wanted, and he had to have wanted. And this is the way I look at it. Just because we grew up in a toxic city, Richmond, California, doesn't mean that our children have to grow up in toxicity. Does that make sense?
Amen, amen,
You understand what I'm saying?
amen. Because my
So
children are
children,
removed from toxicity. I don't allow it. I don't. It's something that I, not to cut you off, but I will say this: where you come from doesn't determine who you are. What you've been through does not does it doesn't determine where you're going. It doesn't. So it's good that you said that because a lot of people allow that to be a crippling situation. Well, I'm from here and this, that, and other, that because of the toxicity of the mindset. When the devil plays and has room to roam in your mind, you get caught up in those type of cliches. And I want it better for my kids, and so not being an angry, bitter black woman. And I don't refer to myself as a baby mother, but as a mother, those are some of the unfortunate things that people, society, try and attach to us. And then you have the opposite side of the spectrum, where most black men are incarcerated, are dead, are drug dealers, deadbeat dads. Those things don't have to be attached to you if you choose to. In your mind, make your mind up. Don't allow your emotions and your um, territory determine who you are in life. And it's that's what the tango dance is about. Knowing when to give, knowing when not to give, knowing when to grow, knowing when to strive, knowing when it's all about timing and balance. And the best thing about that in a tango, somebody, both parties, have to be willing to sacrifice, step back, learn, and evolve. So it's kind of cool to say.
and, and I'm glad that you actually finished the statement for me and probably said it better than what I was going to say. You know, just shout out to my ex-wife and the mother of my youngest son, but she also helped me with my oldest son. I was a single dad, and got with her. No, got with her, and she still considers her baby. You know what I'm saying? And she saw one of my podcasts too with a good friend of hers from back in the days. Well, a good acquaintance, let me put it like that, of hers from back in the days. And she liked it. And I was like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? But she said this one thing, and you just said this the exact same thing. She's like, but you referred to me as your son's mom. She's like, no, say your ex-wife. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that just goes to the type of friendship, the quality of friendship that her and I have. She's one of those people that not only do I go to her, and I know I can get some encouragement or or whatnot, or somebody speak life to me, like I said, from the opposite sex. She'll call me and checks on me probably more than just about anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I just believe that that's a definitely a beautiful thing, and best believe sons, they benefit from that as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Do you care to share how y'all met?
I agree.
How did y'all meet? You and dad? Don't worry,
Just
we're going somewhere with
just from the neighborhood.
around the
I
neighborhood.
literally came back from LAJC, and I'm sorry, the kid's dad was because I didn't
I'll
get
edit it.
permission to say his
I'll
name.
edit it.
So
Yeah. He probably ain't tripping, but we're gonna edit it anyway. Everybody don't need to know everything.
yes, so the kid's dad was sitting on my grandmother's porch when I came back from college, and he and I had always been friends, and I just knew it was something about him. And we were young. We were young when we, we got together, and we learned each other, taught each other. All the things that we didn't see in our own households, we tried to explore. All the things that we thought we were doing right, we tried to figure it out. And when it wasn't right, it wasn't right. But he has always been a good friend. Um, Again, back then I was in music. um, so we shared that
I can see
common
you rapping or
interest.
singing.
Yeah, we
Uh-huh.
shared that common interest. And yeah, I'd go to the studio and be on songs with him and the guys and different things. And his sister was a friend of mine when we were younger. And so it made sense then as a kid. I was a hot little thing, little chocolate little thing, Um,
I did not know
he
that.
was, he's always been my good friend. So I'm
That's what's
fortunate
up.
to have two children, um, which is the best part of him and the best part of me, and they're their own person, they're their own people, and it's been an amazing journey to watch them grow and to watch him be a father. I was an aunt at 13 years of age, so all of my brothers have kids, and I've always um, been around kids. I come from a big family, so yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I'm thinking about it now. It's kind of interesting to see him. He has evolved. I taught him how to drive. He had to drive me to the hospital when I went in labor. Different things.
Uh,
So he's really really a cool person. Get on my nerves, but I love
indeed,
him. He's my kid's daddy, and
man.
he's grown to be um, quite interesting.
Right. And I did not know that he was a rapper. That's crazy. But we ain't
No,
not to
no,
share his projects and nothing like that. I didn't even
no,
know he was in the music
no.
genre.
Actually, he used to do. He used to be a producer. He has a lot of production out there in the world.
All right.
He's really good at it too. Really
Okay.
really good at it.
Well, you talk to him and see if he wants to share anything. I don't mind putting it in a part of this pod. But and then hold up, considering that y'all lived about 2 blocks from where Tupac actually filmed his first or second video, I Get Around video when he had babes and they was in the Cutlass and all that. They was driving through that same neighborhood. Hey, why not? You know what I mean? Because one thing about it, when you see, especially somebody that close to home, it hits close to home in a positive way, and you see that they doing it like that, oh, we finna get busy with this thing, you know what I'm saying, and try to take it to the next level. So to me, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, yeah, because Tupac was with some homeboys from right around the way, like literally walking distance from where I knew Voz to live at, and we share a mutual friend, an OG, who passed away a few years ago. Shout out to Maurice, you know what I'm saying, and. When I saw him and Maurice was cool, I was like, first of all, that makes sense because Maurice was one of the coolest people that you ever want to meet. And then they lived across the street from one another, so it made even that much more sense. You understand what I'm saying? So, like I said, your guy, he always been cool with me. We worked together for the city of Richmond. And that's when I first met him, a couple years younger than me, but just a cool, content, knew how to handle himself in a great way type of person. And what I see as far as now, uh, I ran into him a couple of times, but what I see on Facebook and everything, we can tell a lot of some people on Facebook. I know people say they don't put all this stuff on Facebook, but some people put too much stuff on Facebook too. You know what I'm saying? So we'll talk about it as we get a little bit more into your topic. But do you want to share who broke it off? And if not, that's fine.
Do I want to share who broke it off? It's not a secret. I talk about it all the time when I do public
Okay.
speaking. Um, Unfortunately, we had, long story short, we had grew out of friendship and we
Yeah.
were trying to make it work for my son. We took a break and um, went our separate ways, came back together, had my daughter. He ended up being with his wife at the moment, his wife now, who we love
Mm.
dearly. Um, and so it was best that we went our separate ways. I broke it off because the facts were the facts. And so
Okay.
we all grow up and we grow apart. And sometimes you grow back together and you're better because you have
Together.
experience and you have learned and you have adjusted. So when you're young and you're in love and it's money, it's life, it's all these different things that play a part in relationships. And remember, you're coming from a community of brokenness, drugs, poverty, single parent homes, violence. So you're talking about things, different elements that play a part mentally, spiritually, and, so when things oftentimes fall apart, things always fall back together. So here we are. My son will be 23 in April of next year, and we're just a little ace boom boom. Get on my nerves, get on my nerves, but that's my dog. I appreciate him and truly am proud of him and where he has come from to where he is now. And it's a testament again. You don't have to be where you're from. You know, you have every every single chance to make the right choices with the right direction if you
Right.
choose to. And so I'm proud of him for standing up, separating himself, and building a life for him, his wife, and his kids. And
Yes.
as a byproduct of that, I'm able to watch and see and participate from the sideline as a cheerleader. So, a little away
Okay.
from how it broke off, but yeah, I had to do that for myself and for my children.
Yeah, and that shows growth there too. When there's no hate in anything that you said, you know what I mean. Like you say, you're cheerleading. You're on the sidelines and you're cheerleading. You know what I mean, knowing that hey, my time will come as well. You know what I mean. If the Lord see fit, He's gonna put me with the right fit. You know what I'm saying. So I think that should be the philosophy for single folks, particularly 35 and older and everything else. Don't mean that it's over with. You know what I mean. It just means that our time haven't made it here yet. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that you explained it the way that you did because my last question was going to say, do you care to share, or do you know why y'all broke it off? And you already stated that. You know what I'm saying? So. We're off to a good start. I appreciate you. I appreciate your candor. I appreciate your being transparent and everything. So you had a topic that you approached me with. So I'm gonna ask you to just go ahead. You want to introduce your topic, and you can take it from there.
Well, this is your show. You supposed to, but living in purpose. I think that's a conversation that we need to have, and it can be two parts depending on your availability. Um, and I've been really asking God. I have been fortunate enough to be around some different things in life, whether it has been holistically, whether it has been spiritually, whether it has been from the streets. And I'm always thinking about each person's purpose and how most people tend to not know what their purpose is because they're focused and fixated on what's not going right, the negative, and woe is me, why is this happening, this happening, this happening, versus the people who have discovered what their purpose is and they're truly living in that purpose. And also, too, the people who are in pursuit to their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, living in the purpose and
Mm-hmm.
what that purpose looks like for you. And if you haven't found your purpose, what are you doing to explore that? What are you listening to? What are you reading? What are you looking at? What is
Mm.
blocking you from even evolving to a place to where you want to know what that purpose is? Um, and I think that's a good thing for you and I as well. I I know what my purpose is. My purpose is to motivate and inspire people
All right.
without a shadow of a doubt. It is my
Without a
honor and
shadow of a doubt.
pleasure. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's talk about three important areas because and you started off with the first one that I have listed here, and that's in the work area. A lot of people will get a job and they'll start there and they get locked in because of the convenience of the work or the paycheck and whatnot. And then you have some people that go to school for one thing but don't even get to work in that field. Take it for take it's hey, it's reality. For some people, it's not really a laughing matter, but I understand where you're coming from because they're really depriving themselves. Let me just share this real fast. As an Uber driver, I drove for Uber a few years because I worked as a 1099er. What does that mean? Well, that's somebody
You're a
who
contractor.
worked for
You work for
themselves.
yourself.
Yeah, as a DJ and as a caterer, building up these things. So, uh, if you know, then you know that most of my work is on the weekends. Well, during the week, I don't want to just be sitting around twiddling my thumbs. You understand what I'm saying? So I found a way where I could make some extra money, and it put me in a position where I was with young people who really couldn't answer that question. 22, 17 years old, and stuff like that. And if it's somebody that enriched me, I would dive a little bit deeper. Not that I'm being nosy, but I'm connecting and I'm being curious with somebody. And I'm like you, in a subtle way, I'm encouraging them, right? And
Absolutely.
it was one time when a young lady who aspired to be a nurse, and I instantly thought of a young lady who did the same thing. You know what I mean? And gave her number, and I believe they talked. You know what I'm saying? I know this person's going to inspire her because she had an even rougher road as a single mom and became a nurse, going to school and everything else. And it's a very rigorous thing. But then again, some people really don't know, and so I would always tell them that, how's your relationship with your dad? They'll say, how's your relationship with your mother? You know what I mean? And then they'll say, and then based on that, and if it's a grandparent, then obviously I would fill in a grandparent. Here's one thing that I know, being a parent, is that we see our children, and oftentimes we could tell what they're really good at and what they are. So I would, ask your mom, what was that thing that you did when you was a kid? Maybe they was very artistic. Maybe they was always in the kitchen trying to learn how to cook, and sometimes they don't even remember that. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that to say that the answer is always right there for you. When I first gave myself back to the Lord in 2005, my pastor around 2006, 7ish preached about your spiritual gifts, and I really wasn't sure. I'm listening, and I really wasn't sure. And one thing he said is that you love the word. I pulled him to the side. He said, "When you love the word," and he's right because even here on this podcast, I'm making notes of what you say and everything else. That's just what I am. I'm a note taker, and in doing so, it helps me to pay attention to receive what's for me, and I'm not easily distracted. You understand what I'm saying? And I would know that, some years later I'd be called to preach and accept the call and everything else. And I have some of that word within me. But also, I know for me personally, I like to serve. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I like being able to take people somewhere that they didn't know that they wanted to go. They know where they want to go, but they didn't know how they're going to get there, i.e. in DJing. When people come into a party, I'm just going to show up because Cash said that, she having a birthday party, I'm going to go to her little birthday party and everything else, but I really want to be at home resting. And next thing you know, they cutting the rug, they tangoing all night long and everything else because that's a service that I provided. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I'm sure you can appreciate this. People don't understand the fulfillment that you get when you are operating in your purpose.
Yes.
When you're doing something that even if you have, because can't please everybody, you know what I'm saying? Even if you have somebody who walk away and they huffing and puffing or whatnot, you feel good because you did the best that you're able to do and what you're called here for. So it's very important. That's why, look, I didn't even make no notes before the conversation because, please, this is something. This is second nature. You understand what I'm saying? So talk a little bit more about your work and maybe share a success story or just how you felt fulfilled, and then end it with how you feel like somebody can actually find out what their purpose is.
Awesome. I love that. I I just a few days ago I was fortunate enough to do some work with so companies bring me in to do consulting with their artists, models, um, high school football teams, different things, and I'm able to either work with them in a group setting or work with them individually. And I, I just at this moment I want to say that when you live in service and gratitude, your purpose is always going to show up for you. And when it's really prevalent in who you are and what you stand on, your gifts will always be at the front. Like you said,
Yeah,
whether it's you liking to be artistic and drawing pictures or putting together Legos and building houses, cooking in the kitchen, and whatever it is, DJ, you have the ability to change people's lives. And we
absolutely.
have to be careful with that because it could be for the good or it could be for the bad. Especially when you are in service and because of your relationship with Christ, it oftentimes can be, well, Lord, I'm waiting to hear you. What should I do? Even though my person is physically tired, my spirit is always listening and waiting on you. So, what do I do in this moment? When you're in pursuit of your purpose, because your purpose never has to pursue you, it's just waiting on you to reflect, acknowledge, and accept it, which is
That was good.
something you have to be able to take some quiet time and learn yourself. And once you've learned yourself, that's when you're going to get that breakthrough, which changes the direction of your life forever.
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah.
your choice is, and I'll just give you this because I feel like this is probably an analogy everybody pretty much like. I talk to young people and I tell them, let's take the people out of it. Let's put it in terms where you guys will understand it a little bit more. Um, you like Autobots, right? You remember Autobots, right?
Transformers and GoBots. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So you have a choice. Everybody's born human. Everybody's born an Autobot. You can either be a Transformer or you can be a Decepticon. You can either be a
Yeah.
good person or you can be a person that's out here doing not so good things. You have a
The
choice.
Autobots is because Decepticons. That's what it was. It's
Yes.
Autobots and yeah. I'm listening. I
Yeah.
got you.
And so, you have a choice. But the choice also comes from what you were taught, what you were brought up in, and what you choose to be around. It often shapes who we become in life.
Yeah.
But it's from your choice, what you
Yeah.
are putting inside of yourself. Uh, 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 what are you eating? What are you watching at night? What are you allowing to seep into your spirit, yourself, your person? And it's funny because when you think about it, it's spelled differently. But your purpose is your person. And if you don't have your person right, your purpose won't often reveal itself to
Mm-hmm. And on that note, I was reminded of a line by DMX when he said, "It's a difference between doing wrong and being wrong."
you. Mm,
And if you remember,
yeah,
you're almost 50 years old.
yeah.
We grew up during the 80s and the 90s, and we saw a whole lot of people having a whole lot of money, but ultimately doing a whole lot of wrong. Not that they were bad people. We just was that was what was there. You know what I mean? So the truth is, we were set up to fail. You understand what I'm saying? A cat named Chunk out of East Palo Alto got a song called "The Game Don't Last," and I remember I don't know if you know the name Sonny, but I remember Sonny once saying that we just out here trying to get all the money that we can now because this ain't gonna be here forever.
Same for
And
me. Mm-hmm.
Young Sonny for the money. Rest in peace to Sted. I mean, people that know him, you couldn't help but to love him.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the movie Colors came out, and he was one of the first ones to say, "We ain't on that crippling and blood and stuff out here. We about money out here." You know what I mean? And it's the same person that said that it ain't gonna last forever. You know what I mean? It wasn't that he didn't feel like he wasn't gonna last forever. He was killed in 1990. Not long after I came off the porch to live like they was living. You know what I'm saying? But the concept of it all, because when you making money like that, you don't really think about stacking it. When you young and having it, you just think it's gonna be there forever. You just gonna keep on making it. I'll go buy this, I'll go buy a car, I hit Oxford Street, I'm gonna get fitted and everything else. But reason why I say we set up to fail because we didn't understand about a 401k, a retirement plan, and everything else. And now that I look back, it ain't too many ballers that retire. I think about the hate that Jay-Z gets nowadays. But you know what? Jay-Z is the one example that I could think of. Now, there's probably more of them that's quiet. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, Baby from Cash Money, he got a brother that started Cash Money with him. We don't never hear about him.
Mm-hmm.
We hardly ever see him. And if he walked into the restaurant where we was there eating, most people didn't even know who he was. You know what I'm saying? But he got the same money that Baby got because it's their label. But what I'm trying to say is Jay-Z is one that, let me say what I aspire. Let me speak for myself. To be able to get into the game, make a whole lot of money, and have one of the finest females that ever graced the earth as that have his last name. Know what I'm saying? Like, that's called accomplishment. That's called making it. You know what I mean? He ain't been in jail. He ain't been killed. Well, he might have been in jail before, but understand that's not the outcome for most of us. Most people that I know. You know, we got a lot of homeboys that's gone now. You know what I'm saying? They didn't make it to see the age of 23. You know, Sonny died at 23. My cousin Banks, 23. My boy Dury, 23 years old. You know what I mean? Some good dudes, you know what I mean, who was doing wrong, you know what I mean, although they were not wrong people. You understand what I'm saying? Sonny legacy still live on to this day. I talk about him the most because he's the most widely recognized out of Richmond. Matter of fact, I saw a documentary on YouTube about a D-boy out of San Francisco, and they dropped Sonny name in it. You know, you talk to little Daryl from Oakland, he know who Sonny and them was. You know what I'm saying? So, but here's another thing, because you actually echoed my sentiment. I'm gonna bring it back to you. When it comes to serving, see, most people feel like they want to be served. That's what it's all about. They want to see how much they're able to get out of you and everything else. But when you think about the scripture and you think about Jesus, because this is a Christian podcast, believe it or not. Well, not believe it or not. Newsflash, buddy. But Jesus said he came to serve and not be served. You understand what I'm saying? And when you have that mentality again, that's where your fulfillment in life comes. People worry about the money and everything else. All that stuff is going to come. It's just a matter of what can you do for others that they'll benefit from, and then watch how it benefits you on the back end. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. But one thing I love what I love
talk your talk.
What I love about God is service is ministry. And when you are in service, that means that you are created by God, and you were and are supposed to serve like Jesus served. And that's the ministry. A lot of people and church people stand in the way of service because we were built in survival mode where we come from, and it goes back to good people doing wrong things. And so we have to make a choice how we would like to serve, because at the end of the day, what else are you going to have? If you didn't do right by people while you were here and you had the ability to do right by them, then that goes with your namesake for the rest of your life. When you're here now, you were a good person, but you did this, this, and that. You were a good person and you stood up with integrity.
Now, that thank you for you. She said not only mentioned the word, but she also gave you the definition of integrity. When nobody else is looking, what you're going to be doing. You know, too many people oftentimes, I think that they'll serve, but they're only going to do so much because then they're worried about getting taken advantage of. You know what I'm saying? Some people, they put a cap on how much they're going to serve because they don't want to do too much, because now you're taking advantage of me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to do, because then they're going to think that, you know what I'm saying, that this is what it is, and they can take advantage of it or whatnot.
But Ron, that goes back to self. That's just you trying to prove to self, instead of you doing it from a genuine space. So this is the thing I told a homegirl of mine the other week. I said, you don't have to give me anything back, and you don't have to tell me anything, or you don't have to tell anybody I did anything for you. That was God enabling me to do that for you. I don't need the credit. God needs the credit. We need to be self-sacrificing on a daily, momentary, minute by minute, second by second, every day type energy. Because if you are just doing something to be doing something to make yourself look good, that's not service. That's selfishness. And
Yeah.
a lot of
Yep.
times, people and credibility is built on selfishness. Selfishness has a place, it's an emotion. You can't live life only concerned about yourself. People need people. We need
That's
each other.
right. That's right.
And if,
And to really
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, if you really want to get down to the meat of it, we were created to serve one another. I put it to you like this:
Yes,
we're here to glorify the Lord, right? And how do we do that? We do that by honoring one another, treating one another well, and doing for one another. That's how we glorify God. You understand what I'm saying? So this notion that I'm gonna just get out here and get, and I'm actually heading on to my next point. You know what I mean? Because we talk about the life lessons of it all now, and hopefully somebody will get this and they'll be able to run or try it, and then they'll see for themselves that it's the best way to go. But let's just say anybody that's in business or anything like that, you think you could do that without having people around, and you are in for a rude awakening. The best analogy I ever heard was you could say, well, I don't like people, but I'm gonna go into business. Okay, well, go ahead and open up your little pet store. You know what I'm saying? And you can get some of the best dog food or whatnot. Stock your shelves with it. Whatever the best brands are out there. I haven't had a dog in a long time. I don't know. But the thing about it is, you can have your store open. You can have the walkway set that anytime anybody touches that walkway, the doors are going to open up. You can have the biggest Great Dane to come inside, go over to the shelf, grab a bag of dog food with his mouth and come over to the corner like he come over to your counter. But guess what? He can't reach in his pockets and put no money out to pay for the dog food.
that's
So
it.
therefore,
You
where's
need
your
people.
business at? You have to have a person to come out to reach in their pocket and say, "This is what my dog like. Here's your money." Get their change and then go on about their business. You understand what I'm saying? If you do people wrong, you're doing your business wrong. You're doing yourself wrong. So hopefully that resonates with somebody. That knowledge you picked up what I put down. Hopefully somebody will understand that, and then they'll start to act accordingly. The world will be a much much better place.
I just look at it as everybody has a place in this life. We
Absolutely.
all were brought into this world with a purpose, whether we acknowledge it, we living in it, or not. The thing about being able to experience your purpose is surrendering and being
That's what it
obedient,
is.
timing. And so a lot of times we inflict these victimizations on ourselves. I'm not a people person. I don't like this. Once you
Better
start
become
to
one.
allow that to be your verbiage that you use on a daily basis, your mind and your body follows that because that's what
You
your
convince
belief
yourself.
system is.
Uh huh. Yeah. Yeah.
You begin to commit yourself to that belief. No matter what the experience is, you have to do some better self talk. You know, I may not like people, but I love animals. So I need to figure out a way that I can service animals with having the least amount of contact with people. Oh, okay. That is what leaders do. We figure out what needs to happen. A leader is going to have a lot of hats, but finding the right people to wear those hats, that's what it is when you figure out what the purpose is. It's so many ways to do things now that we are so focused on this is this. You know, that's why everybody has certain ways to learn, certain ways to retain, certain ways they drive, certain ways they show up, what kind of hairstyle they like, and that's what makes us each uniquely made. But until we
That's it.
figure out, instead of wearing a facade, being what society wants and thinks we should be, we'll never be in pursuit of the purpose that's living and resonating inside of us until we submit and commit our thoughts and our person to the purpose. And
Right.
we have to get out our own self way. You know,
That's
that
right.
is the biggest place in the world is your mind. And for you to be at war with yourself is the
So
craziest
what?
thing. Craziest
Hmm.
thing.
And some people don't even realize that's what's going on. They're having a war with themselves as opposed to the person that they think that they mad at or whatever. And here's the last point I want to just give on that. You know, the best way to get along with people is to start treating people as like people, and doing so, love on them.
Yeah, yeah,
Understand that
yes,
when people
yes.
are not receptive of that and or they don't reciprocate it, they might have a problem. Don't make it your problem. You know what I'm saying? And if you, anytime that we take on that and then we say, well, we're gonna match energy, I hate that term.
I don't do it.
Even when it's positive, I don't like it because basically what you're saying is now you're not going to be your genuine self. You're going to be what you see. You're going to be somebody else's mirror. Why not be a mirror that other people want to look at and say, you know what, this is what I want to be. This is what
Oh,
I want to see.
Ron, why do people say that? Matching energy. So
I,
you just
I
taking
have no
picking
idea.
up bad energy and just
Yeah.
utilizing it to your
Uh-huh.
benefit. Like, what are you doing? And it goes back to the self-identification. Like, if you don't know yourself, then you're picking up everything else that everybody else is picking up, that everybody
And
else
letting
is
them tell
putting
you
out
who you are.
because of the facade.
Yeah. It's it's life lessons that need to be learned though. That need to be learned. The sooner we learn them, the better. But it ain't never too late. You know, you can start today by
Mhm.
just saying, you know what, tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna have a great day. And then when you wake up the next day, repeat that to yourself. It sounds superficial, sounds simple, but just try it. Just
And
try it.
even when you make a mistake, even when things happen, take a purposeful pause, breathe.
A
When
purposeful
you
pause. I
give
like that.
yourself a little bit of time to breathe, you oftentimes respond better. The behavior is better. The outcome is better. The situation that leads up to the circumstance becomes better. But we haven't been taught and equipped with those tools. So you have to go out and find those things for yourself.
Yeah.
Resources, groups,
Yes.
churches,
Yes.
whatever it is that's going to put you in a direction for you to get the best experience out of this life by being who you were created to be. That's what it's
That's
about.
right. That's right. That's right. So, with that being said, we talked about work and we weave life into it because life is gonna life no matter what.
No
You
matter
understand what I'm
what.
saying? So the best thing about it is that we accept it for what it is and do our best to stay prayerful and move towards what we want it to be. That, you know what I'm saying?
You
So
gotta
with that
want
being
it.
said,
You gotta want
gotta
it
want
though.
it.
You gotta want it.
But here's the part I really want to talk about. Let's talk about the love life. You know what I mean? What's your purpose for your love life?
My purpose for my love life is I don't have a love life right at this moment.
Hold on, why you start smiling? I can hear it in your voice.
I because my love life is not a love life at this moment. My love life is loving on myself, loving God, and loving my kids, and being absolutely immersed in my gifts and loving that at the moment. So, far as me and a love interest at this moment, I am going on a date this evening, but yeah, my love life is just like, Lord, I surrender my heart, surrender my ways, and I surrender my thoughts. I am not in a position to allow anybody, person, or thing to come in my life that's going to play with you because of where you brought me to. And so I love a man that loves God, a young king that has his head on his shoulders, who knows something about life. We all are older. I'm 49. I'll be blessed to be 50 next year. God say the same. Um, of course, you want to get married. You want to have a big house on hills. But what does that even look like? Things have changed. People have kids. You know, my love life is I want to travel. I want to be a vessel for God to see the best parts of Him in me. And if somebody can love that and love me that way, where you at, baby? Where you at?
he might be he might be picking you up at 8, for your date at 8 tonight. Who
I
knows?
don't want you to say
But
that. I don't want you to say that because yeah, that was a different experience when I met the young man, and it was just such. He's
well,
from Ghana, and he
okay,
moved out
okay.
here by way of Brooklyn, and he is a very interesting young man. So yeah, but dating, I went on a date this weekend with another young man, and it was horrible. It was, it was, it was disappointing. It was extreme to the fact that I got up and I walked out, and just some
What?
things in the
People
case.
really do that? Huh?
Well, I did in this case because I was asked to go somewhere and show up somewhere, and when I got there, I was told that it was a big thing for a whole bunch of people, and the bill was $400 and all I had was a margarita, and I bought around drinks for $100 for a whole bunch of people that I didn't know. But at the same token, energy is uh, attractive, and I'm attracting good things, but the devil has to throw a little bit of something in the mix every again and now. But God is preparing my heart, my spirit, and my person for the right person, and I'm excited to fall in love again. Everybody think I'm a hard, mean person, but I am a big teddy bear. I love romance, love. Let's go
Hold on.
cuddle, all of
Hold
it.
on. Let me put you on pause for just a moment. Did you say you brought all the drinks for everybody?
Well, it was a nice thing to do. Yeah.
I mean, just because your name is Cash don't mean you got to start throwing stuff all over the place.
Some of the people I didn't know, some of the people I did know, but most
Uh
of the
huh.
time, I'm a giver. I'm a big giver. I just went down to Kobe's last week and bought them food just to support Ron.
Oh,
You know,
oh yeah, 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 yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm a,
Shout out, Triple R.
yeah, I'm a giver. It's natural in me. It is just, and so with God working on my philanthropy and different things like that, we're gonna make sure that people are benefiting from each other in this world. Like next year, I want to pay 5 single mothers PG&E bill for a year.
That's right.
I'm
That's
working on
right.
grants. I'm working on different things.
That's
I
right.
want
That's
the
right.
things that we do to not be superficial, but be internal. And so I'm always uploading something. What can I do to help somebody else? How can we, be in position for greatness? Where is this going to
Let
lead these kids? Stuff like that. So yeah.
let's just a side note, but this may be very important. You say you're working on grants. Are you good at that kind of thing? If not, I know somebody who can give you some tips. She's real good at it.
Oh, I've worked with several people, but as you can see, I'm always at my desk. I'm always working because I'm working for
Right.
myself.
Okay.
I'm
Say
inappropriate.
less. Talk to
But
me. Talk to me as soon as it's done. I'm gonna give you a name and
I
see
probably
if you
already know
worked
her.
with her.
I probably already know her if she's from
You might.
yeah.
She from the rich.
Yeah. I've worked with
Let us.
Don Moultrie. I've worked with several women.
Oh
Yeah,
man, love me some Don.
yeah.
Love Dr. Don.
I've
Yo
worked
yo,
with
what's up, Yolanda? She
yes,
know what that means. She know what that means. Love
yes,
Dr. Don.
yes.
That's not who I'm talking about.
Okay,
But
okay.
y'all in the same circles though. Y'all in the same circles, so it's possible. Look, like I say, I don't mind connecting the dots for folks. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's a part of service. That's what I believe life is about. But here's another thing though. You keep using this word young man, young king. You going cool girl on this or what?
No, I'm always I say that to the old people too. The old people be like, "Girl, what's wrong with your eyes?" And I literally just was about to put my glasses on, but it's not about the glasses. It's about the way you make people feel when you approach them.
Okay.
And because
Uh-huh.
my words have power, and I understand, like I said earlier, it can be for the good. You can build people up or you can tear them
Right.
down. Your tongue
Oh,
has so much power in it. And just to see the smile on people's faces, like one of my things is that's a hashtag of mine. Happy Friday. I know it's Monday, but when I say that to people, they be like, "What do you mean it ain't Friday?" Da, da, da. But you get excited because it's the end of the work week and you did all you could do. And when you remind people of that, it just puts them in a different state of mind and it opens up conversation for being, hey, young king, how you doing? Hold your head up, young queen. Smile, beautiful. How are you? And so for me, as a people, I'm a people person. I know my energy and I know my gift. My gift it can be, it can either break you or it can make you. And that's why I've
I think you've
chosen.
seen more of my podcast than you told me about. Because
Mm.
I've said that saying quite a few times. You know what I mean?
Really?
It's real easy to tear down, but it's building up. That's what takes some work. Take any building structure around. You know what I mean? And it take a year or so to build a tall building, but they could detonate it and have it gone in 24 hours. It'd be drop it to the ground within 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've never used that analogy before, but I have. I state that a lot of the time.
Tomato,
So
tomato. It's the same thing.
it's the same thing. Well, that's how you know it's true.
Yes, yes.
You understand what I'm saying? When someone else echo the sentiment, I listen to a lot of music, so like you
Mm-hmm.
said, when you
Me
say
too.
Happy Friday, OJ's didn't get popular off Living for the Week, that song Living for the Weekend for nothing, because that's how people feel. They living for
They
the weekend.
do,
They can't
they
wait to get
do,
through
they
Monday through
do,
Friday. So the
they
thought of
do.
Friday just puts a smile on your face. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But
And we
I
have to
want to
have
talk
these
about
strategies.
what's that?
We have to have these type of strategies in life because the world is so crazy right now, and everybody is in survival mode. That humanity gets away from each and every one of us at times. I'm guilty of it
Mm-hmm.
too. Somebody was laying in my front yard the other day, and because I felt so bad for him. You know, I was upset, but then I had to take a purposeful pause and say, you need to figure out what's going on with this person. And lo and behold, they had been accosted, it was inebriated, and I had to call the 911 and stay out there and stuff like that. And so, small things like that, instead of walking by somebody that's less fortunate than you on the curve and judging them, they don't want to get a job. They just on drugs. We have to be intentional about what comes out of our mouth, our thoughts that we generate, and our heart, what we do. So I'm big on that. And one more thing that you said, it's good to be in service, Ron. I see a lot of products of the kids in the community and elderly people that I've helped. People that say, hey, Miss Wilson, you remember when you told me that you believed in me and I can do it? And I see the kids in the community, Ron, it was worth it. It was worth it.
Absolutely, it's worth it.
Absolutely.
They'll get it, Lord willing, eventually. They'll get it. Mm-hmm.
I remember when you talked to my mom and I didn't want you to. And look, I didn't got invited to graduations, quinceañeras. I went to one wedding from a student from Marin County. And it's just a delight to see what God does through me when He affects people. And that's the kind of culture we're trying to cultivate. Positive
That's right.
interactions with your mind, your body, and your spirit so that you'll be a better person for this world.
That's right. All glory to God. And on that note, if you haven't already done so, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, join the community of good ones. You know that because that's what we're all about. Yes, you heard the conversation, especially if you made it this far. Got to give us a like. And again, don't forget to subscribe. She dropped the name of a couple of her podcasts and everything. Go check her out. Go hear for herself. But I just want to just say I got 2 points I want to make. First of all, I know that you're an intentional person. It's evident in this conversation. But I want to talk about a funeral service we were at a couple of years ago when Miss Cedar Motivator had to get on the microphone and shout out the son of the deceased and talk about how much he was in love with him and everything in a room of 200 and plus people. No shame in your. No, I love intentionality because look, he probably didn't know that. And a lot of women
You
think
are
because
so
they got the hips, the lips, and the fingertips, which a lot of us ain't even looking for that. But you know what I'm saying? Just because she's pretty and she's, personable or whatnot, and if we're given that, we kind of expect that anyway. But nothing wrong with letting him know that hey, I'm interested. You know what I mean? You want to
I'm gonna
share?
get
You
you.
did anything come of that?
I'm gonna
Because
get you.
I was impressed. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm gonna get
I'm
you.
like, look at her.
I'm gonna get
She
you.
let it be known.
It's
Room
it's an internal joke with me and his sister and
and
his mama. And as a young girl, I would always see him in the neighborhood or whatever. But he still comes and checks on me. Now as it is today, he is, and we that's how he is known when people refer to him when they're speaking to me. Where is your boyfriend? Where's your man?
Oh, okay,
Um,
okay.
and so he says, if I would have my stuff together, I would have been, you would have been the one, Cash. And I just love God for still keeping him here on this earth. He just went through surgery for his hernia, and so he's out of the hospital now. He's doing well, and slow feet don't eat. He's moving around. He see this podcast. Bring my bike back.
Tell you what, you talk to him, tell him that I said what's up, first of all. That was my first time seeing him and talking to him in probably like 10 years, although our mother's a great, like, best friend.
Mm-hmm.
A charismatic dude, sharp
Good
dude
dude.
when he want to be. When
Good
he
dude.
want, I mean, hey,
Yes.
my boy, say he's one of my first big homies, you know what I'm saying? To whereas,
Oh, and he chocolate. Yeah.
like, all that stuff, I'm talking about just a good dude. You understand what I'm
I said,
saying?
and he chocolate because he is.
You said on the microphone in front of church of about 300 people how much you felt. It didn't sound like he was joking to me. I'm just saying. But if you want to leave it as a joke, I'm going to talk to his sister and
Yeah.
see if it's an ongoing thing because it
And
sounded real, really real.
but from the realest place in my heart, um, and I always encourage him. He comes by whenever he wants. I make sure he has something to eat, whatever it is, that he needs. Because you never judge a book by its cover. And I am never going to stop praying for those who God has created because of the place they are right at this moment. See,
Right.
we as people, we got to stop judging each other off of
Yeah.
what you got, what
Mm-hmm.
you don't got, who you with,
Mm-hmm.
who you not with, what it may look
Mm-hmm.
like, what it is, or what it ain't. People have to get out of their own self way. And because I am intentionally good to him, people always feel like his daughter, stepmama, we ain't never had nothing going on in our life.
I know her name started with M, right? You talk about that one? That mama?
We ain't never had that going on in our
Oh.
life. But
Oh.
they love me because I'm part of family. And so,
Well, that's what's up.
we're supposed to look out for each other. And we should go
Yes,
back
we
to
are.
making that popular by demand, being good to
For
one
real.
another. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's always been my pleasure to be good to him. But it's just a
Yeah.
little inside joke that we always have.
Yeah.
Boy, Cash,
But
if I
you
had it together, I didn't. You ain't gonna do nothing.
that was my boy though. He was about 8 years older than me. I remember when he first came home from the pen, and then we lived down the street. So yeah, we get together. He get off work, I'd be hustling. You know what I'm saying? I bust moves, whatnot. We used to smoke our danko, our tranko. You know what I'm saying, and whatnot. And he'd have him a couple of shots or whatever. Probably some mai tai or something like that. And that was a big homeboy though, for real, man.
Yeah,
But
good
so
people.
look, and Lord willing, we have you on again where you could do another episode. But I certainly appreciate the time that you
Thank you for
shared
having me.
today. And, yeah, man, no, thank you for being here again. And then you said a lot. I just hope that people, take the time to listen and hear it. But if there's a goal that you want to say as far as dealing with the purpose and everything, well, you know what? I'd ask you another question. Then we get to the goal. Here's something that's important though, because I actually did a podcast on it, and it's called it's one of the episodes. I believe it's episode 10. It's called "Love You, Then Love Them," and you talked about loving
Hmm.
yourself. Share real briefly what does loving yourself look like?
Loving yourself looks like you not being so judgmental of who you are becoming because you understanding who you are versus who everybody else want you to be. That can be tug of war. But standing and loving yourself and understanding yourself. And yeah, we're gonna make some mistakes, but we're gonna also have some good things going. So your integrity, your person, your character, you loving who you are and identifying with and being accountable with yourself. What's not good? What's not working for me? How can I change this? What needs to happen? Is this
Right.
necessary? It all is a part of who you need to be. And you need to be the best for you at all times. And sometimes we get it a little sooner, sometimes we get it a little later, but the ultimate goal is for you to get it and to get why you are who you are. And it goes back to each individual person with their name. My son's
Mm-hmm.
name is Rashad, God's light.
Mm-hmm.
He is one of the quietest people in the world, but his life, the way he loves people, the way he shows up for people, it's a part of who he is. And so, I just tell people, be honest with yourself. Every day when you look in the mirror and you say, I'm beautiful, I'm talented, I'm willing to learn today, I'm willing to listen 2 times as much, I'm willing to ask less questions or be less confrontational. I'm willing to allow my
That's
eyes
big.
not just to look, but to see. I'm able to be
That's
here
good.
to be able to bless myself and love on myself. I don't operate out of fear. My faith is bigger than anything else that I could ever dream of. Because of the faith that God has in me, I have faith in myself. So self-talk is one of the best things you can ever do for yourself. And something that's a different conversation, but that is something that we positively need in communities that we have came from,
Yeah.
and being self-aware. So yeah,
Yeah.
just a little bit of
Well,
that.
and for a little clarity, integrity, I just Googled it. I knew what it meant, but I just wanted to just Google it because you used the word again. But it's the quality of being honest and
Honest.
having strong moral principles, moral uprightness.
Yeah.
But that's for other people. That's why people say he's known to be a man of integrity or she's known to be a lady of integrity, a woman of integrity. Character, though, is what you do when nobody else is looking. That's who you
Mm-hmm.
really are. You
Absolutely.
get what I'm saying? So those are
Absolutely.
very important. Those are very important. So what's the goal of this? So what is something that you want to somebody to be able to walk away from this conversation thinking, or what would you say that is?
A walk away would be for you to absolutely be in pursuit of your purpose and allow your purpose to come to you. Stop being afraid of the unknown. Stop allowing it to cripple you from doing what you were created to do. You're a blessing to yourself. The world needs you. You need you. And so you should be excited about that. Um, Again, a reminder, turn down that inner critic and turn up that internal cheerleader. Allow yourself grace. Grace, it's a good thing. Remember to take your purposeful pause. If you plan it, because you see it, you wrote it out, it is willing to happen for you.
Well said. Well said. Now, before we close, do you have any questions for me at all?
I don't have any questions, but I will say this. What is required of you, he is not going to allow you to not get it done. So I just want you to know I appreciate you, and honored to be here. No, I didn't get in your business, your love life, and your age and stuff like that. But
We got time, or you want to come back
it,
on another time?
it's all well. It's good. Yeah, I'm not as nosy as you. I am when it's my show.
It
But
ain't for me. It's
when
for the people. It's for the people.
but,
They need to know who they're listening to.
but I get it. I get it when it's my show. They be like, sis, hold on, like, wait, no, what are we doing? So I
What
get
what
it.
here, Here's the thing: people don't care about me like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
But in
your
case you
thought.
want to know a little something, go check out another episode. This is we're almost up to episode 20 as far as the Dilemma of a Good One podcast. So the other ones are there. And if there's a topic that somebody would love me to talk about, definitely send me a inbox or email me at djron7573 at yahoo.com. Again, inbox me on Facebook or whatnot, or just, matter of fact, just put it in the comments. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody who I feel is, able to share the topic, share the mic, I'm open for it. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, it ain't all about me. It's about you. And it's about the lesson that we learn and understand this, that, you know, it's good to be good. Let me put it like that. Been on
Mm,
the other side and everything else, and it's so much better on the Lord's side, which is the good side. Understand this, because I don't know if you ever caught it, but the way we spell good is capital G, the letter O, and then a capital O and a capital D. And the reason why it's like that is because everybody should see God in you. You understand what I'm
mm,
saying? They should see God in your good. You understand what I'm
mm-hmm,
saying? So
mm-hmm.
it's not just for yourself. It's not just to look good in front of everybody else. We're not pulling up to a homeless encampment and videoing ourselves, handing out the food and everything else. No, 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 no. That's you in there. You understand what I'm saying? You spelling good, Guud. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's you and you only. You understand what I'm
Mm.
saying? But when we're dealing with good, I pray about every episode that I posted, the topics that I have, and even the people that come on. You understand what I'm saying? And once we get to this point, I let people be themselves, and we just let the conversation flow. You and I didn't talk about what we're going to talk about. We didn't go through the questions and like that. So this is totally organic.
Awesome.
Your first time, really? Am I right?
No, no, that's true. It's true. I
So,
thank you for letting me be my most authentic self because hey, I can go into it.
so with that being said, are you gonna come back to go into it? Would you like to come back on again?
I'm gonna have to check with my manager. No, but I'll do it for you. No, honestly, I'm going to meet with my manager at 12:30 anyway. So, but no, it's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
I'll come back and then I can definitely ask some questions because the
Yes.
people want to know who you are as well, and then we can continue this conversation because I just think that we don't have to be lost in the pursuit of our purpose, but we definitely need to be diligent to ourselves to be open enough to figure out what it is and to find out what it is. And so,
Absolutely.
when you're in your purpose may need a little bit of guidance as well. Where do you go for that? How do you expand on your purpose? It's just like babies in Christ. You are not going to be able to build a relationship with Christ unless someone is nurturing. So your purpose needs nurturing as well. Your character needs nurturing. Your integrity needs nurturing. And that's about and where you are, who you're around, what you're doing, what you're putting in your body. Again, what are you reading? What are you studying? What are you looking at on TV? What are you hearing at night before you go to sleep?
I was gonna talk about the song playlist and everything else, but best believe that's some important stuff too. Absolutely. Yeah, the songs we listen to. Not to say now, keep in mind, um, I still listen to gangster rap. That's one of my chosen sins. You understand what I'm saying? I still listen to it, but I've cut back on it tremendously, and I feel so much better. You know what I mean? I have a little more gospel, but listen to a lot more R&B, as well as later, and just inspirational songs all the way around. But there's people that's all they listen to is NBA YoungBoy, young folks especially. That's all they listen to, and
Why?
it's a repetitive
Why?
recycle
Why?
over and over and
Why?
over again.
Because there's no elders exposing them to anything else. Because everybody is at the club, everybody is I. Everybody is self-made right now. So I don't care about what you listen to, because half the time I don't care if you're at school. Long as you got a good-looking backpack on, long as you got some good-looking tennis shoes on, I don't care what's going in your mind, because the devil has us distracted that way. So we got to start making some choices. Um, I always tell my kids it's a balance. You know, I didn't and don't buy them McDonald's. It's my choice because I know what goes into it. When you get old enough and you got your own money and that's what you want to do, that's your choice. So we have to give people options. We haven't been in position of requiring young people to do what's better for them. Uh, Consistent coaching with care, recognition, and prayer. We are not giving them the examples that they need to have anymore. And we started out with the evolution of how everything's changed. So yeah, we need to come back and talk about that playlist because what you're putting in your ears, what you listen to, double goes and sits on your brain. Then the desires that come from your brain, you start seeing in your eyes. I'm a killer. I'm a hoe. I'm a whatever it is projecting. It's sitting there and it's marinating it comes out of your heart, then it becomes your action, and then that behavior changes the direction of your life, whether you're incarcerated or 6 feet under. We got to do better. We got to do
We have to
better.
do better. And people wonder what's wrong with us in the world today. So thanks again. Make sure you have your people talk to my people so we can line up another podcast and we can talk about these things. But I think that we did pretty well on today. Once again, just make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, especially if y'all want to see Cash, the motivator, see the motivator, as I call her, on here again. And I feel motivated myself right about now. You know what I mean? So may the rest of your day be blessed. And like I say, look forward to talking to you again real soon. Thanks very much. Thanks very much.
Appreciate you. Have a blessed and beautiful day. Bye for now.
Take care. And as always, God bless.
Peace.
Dilemma of a good one. Dilemma of a good one. Dilemma. Genesis to Revelation. This the story of a good one. In the middle of the madness, let it be known.
Gospel Luke cut to a few.
I'm a soldier in the struggle, dilemma of a good one. Trying to read the signs while I'm moving with the hood one. Scripture in my ear, feel the weight of the test. But the streets pull me back, Lord grant me rest. Matthew told me pray, Romans keep me strong. Dilemma of a good one, trying to right these wrongs. Temptation in the mirror, spirit in the sky. I'm a good one in the battle, never let the faith die. This dilemma of a good one, walking that fine line. Faith in my heart, but the struggle on my mind. I'm the dilemma of a good one, standing in the light between the pulpit and the block, trying to do right. Dilemma of a good one, hold on to the truth, from the block to the booth, trying to find my proof. Dilemma of a good one, walking with the saints, even when I stumble, never showing no complaints. So rolling through the bay, dilemma of a good one. Gospel in my speakers, never backing from the front. Ephesians on my mind, trying to keep my spirit up. Proverbs in the chamber when the game get tough. Matthew 7 in my pocket, wolves trying to bite, but the good one in the hustle, moving righteous in the night. DJ cut the beat, bring it back, scratch it raw. Dilemma of a good one, scripture in my draw.
Judgment cast on you by other people has to be accepted by you in order for you to feel judged. And that's why I feel like it's important to validate yourself and affirm who you are, but also be honest about who you are.
It's the dilemma of a going like a prayer in the mist, trying to dodge a serpent's hiss, keep my spirit legit. I'm the good one in the battle, never fade in the cut, spade, lingo when Bible talk, never switching up. This dilemma of a good one, walking that fine line. Faith in my heart, but the struggle on my mind. I'm the dilemma of a good one, standing in the light between the pulpit and the block, trying to do right. Yeah. Dilemma of a good one, seek dilemma of a good, dilemma of a good one. Dilemma of a good one, dilemma of a good, dilemma of a good one. Dilemma of a good one. From the concrete to the pew, Bay Area stand up, spirit strong, never lose. DJ run in the mix, keep it holy in the groove. Dilemma of a good one, it's for the chosen few. Dilemma of a good one, dilemma of a good one. Dilemma of a good one, dilemma of a good one. Dilemma of a good one, dilemma of a good one. Dilemma of a good one, dilemma of a good one.